Hello, everybody, and welcome into Ravens Rundown. I am your new host, Joey Petersen, and I'm here today to talk about that barn burner of a game that we all watched tonight. Of course, I'm speaking sarcastically, as unfortunately we dropped this game 16-13 to the Philadelphia Eagles. It was a defensive battle, let's just say that, to put it nicely. 16-13 was the final. We got to see guys like Emory Jones come out for a play. We got to see Devin Leary out there for a quarter and a half. We got to see a lot of Josh Johnson. We had some guys pop off. We had some guys not. And I'm here to give my instant reaction and talk to you guys all about that today. But before we get into this, let's talk about why you need to subscribe. We will be live for every watch party all season long, just like we were tonight. And they are a blast. So hit that subscribe button. Join us live next weekend against the Falcons. Join us live the weekend after that against Green Bay. And, of course, join us live for that first game against Kansas City Thursday night, September 5th. Let's get into my instant reaction for this first preseason game against the Eagles. My first takeaway, Nate Wiggins' injury was really some salt on the wound of this game tonight because he was having a phenomenal game. 4 pass deflections. They attacked him a lot tonight, and I think that was kind of their plan going into this. Let's attack Nate Wiggins. He got targeted a lot. Let up a catch early, got the tackle, but then after that, really didn't let up any catches the rest of the night. Had some great tackles, open field tackles all by himself. You saw him show off a little swag, stare some guys down as well, but then he made a tackle on a screenplay. Kind of got up, was walking down the stairs with the trainers, wasn't really trying to touch his shoulder, looked like it was hanging below his arm. I was thankful it wasn't a collarbone injury. John Harbaugh, this tweet from Bo Smolka, had no update on cornerback Nate Wiggins, who left with a shoulder injury. And so that just kind of was a bummer on a night that there wasn't too many great things to take away from, if we're being honest. Nate Wiggins, 3 tackles, 1 tackles for loss, 3 pass breakups. He's somebody that really shined. And, man, when you spend a first-round pick on a guy, you want to see return, and we got to see return on him very quickly. Now we just got to hope that this injury isn't something serious, and that we'll be able to see him September 5th when we kick off against Kansas City. My second takeaway from tonight's game is Dayton Wade. He absolutely shined tonight. We knew coming into this game, okay, this wide receiver core has about 4 locks on it, right? Rashad Bateman, Nelson Aguilar, Zay Flowers. But you didn't know about who else was going to fill up the interim in that wide receiver room. Dayton Wade is a guy who tonight made his case known. 4 receptions, 27 yards. His longest catch was a 13-yard reception. We saw a great block on it for that one to spring him loose a little bit. But this is kind of what we need to see. We need to see guys separate themselves from the pack. There's a pack of guys at the top. There's a pack of guys at the bottom. Who's going to separate themselves and go to that middle spot? Dayton Wade made a really good case for himself tonight. So I want to ask you guys, I think it's Dayton Wade. Who's a player that you think shined tonight in tonight's game against the Eagles? Let us know down in the comments section your answer. Again, I'm going with Dayton Wade. Let's hear from you. Get down below in that comment section. And Dayton Wade shined. But he shined despite the guys that were throwing him the football, if you're catching my drift. Because that's my third takeaway. Is QB2? Yikes. There were a lot of different guys we saw tonight at that quarterback position. We saw Josh Johnson for a half. He was there for most of the game. Devin Leary, we saw for a quarter and a half. Emory Jones, we saw for a snap, and he fumbled the football. I'll get back into that. But Josh Johnson, 4 for 12, 62 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. The thing to me that I took away with Josh Johnson that doesn't make me confident in his ability to be the quarterback 2 for this team is he gets the ball, he looks around, he does a good job scanning the receivers, but then he panics. He always panics, and then he looks around, and then he starts running, and then he gets sacked, maybe gets a yard, but he's a really panicky, finicky quarterback, and that's kind of surprising given how much football he's played in his career. But I expected a little bit more from him, and he just didn't give me a lot. 33% completion percentage. And then Devin Leary comes in the game. 2 straight 3-and-outs for Devin Leary, maybe even 3 straight 3-and-outs, 6 for 10, 37 yards. And the thing about Leary, and this is what Tyler and I were talking about the majority of the game, he got the ball, and he would lock on a receiver the entire time. Lock on the entire time. It's like when you're playing Madden and you know in your mind what receiver you're going to throw to, and then even if it's triple coverage, you throw it anyway, it ends up getting picked. Devin Leary, thank God he threw no picks tonight, but that's kind of how he was playing football tonight. And then Emory Jones, we don't even need a stat graphic for him. He went in there, one snap, one fumble, and the most pivotal time not to fumble in the entire football game. Ended up, Eagles got the ball, you know the rest, kick, field goal, win the game. So who do you think ends up as QB2? Do you think it's Josh Johnson? Do you think it's Devin Leary? After tonight, I think it's still Josh Johnson. I just think he's got the age and experience over Devin Leary, but neither of them showed me things that I could guarantee one or the other. But what do you think? Let me know in that comment section down below. My fourth takeaway for tonight, and this is kind of an unfortunate one as well, but it feels like the offensive line struggled a little bit. It took a while for this team to get going when it came to running the football. You look here, Owen Wright, 7 carries, 33 yards. Rasheen Ali, 10 carries, 26 yards. Chris Collier, 3 carries, 11 yards. A little bit over 2.5 yards per carry for this running back group. And this offensive line, we knew it was going to be something that we as fans need to be dialed in on in this preseason game because you lost so much in the offseason. You lost Kevin Zeitler. You lost Morgan Moses. And I think you're only thinking, okay, how does that affect Lamar Jackson? You're not thinking how that might affect just straight up the run game, handing it off to the running back. And tonight, it kind of looked like it affected it a lot. And my last takeaway of the game, my fifth takeaway of this game, and this is something that we talked about a lot going into this game and on yesterday's video. This was a guy we circled, and that is Mr. Trenton Simpson. He came in tonight trying to fill that gap that Patrick Queen left in the past year, as he now has found greener grass in Pittsburgh. And tonight, Trenton Simpson played a role he's not going to play during the year. He was a green dot. He was helping all the defensive linemen. He was the quarterback of the defense tonight. That's Roquan Smith's role. But Trenton Simpson played it very well tonight. 11 tackles. No tackles for loss, no sacks, no pass breakups. But 11 tackles is still incredible. And what I'm excited to see is how he does when he has a guy like Roquan Smith next to him, leading him. That is something I'm excited to see because if this is what we got out of him tonight in his first true start with that green dot on his helmet, then, man, I think Trenton Simpson, his ceiling is incredibly high with the Baltimore Ravens. So what is your biggest takeaway from the first preseason game? You saw mine. You saw all 5 of mine, whether they were good, whether they were bad. I want to know what was yours because there was a lot that happened in that 3 hours of football. So let me know in the comment section down below. That'll do it for today's episode of Ravens Rundown. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Hope you guys had as much fun as I did last night watching the Ravens back at M&T Bank Stadium, back in the bank. Even though it was a loss, it was still a blast to see football again. I'm Joey Petersen. Y'all have a great day.